So thank you so much for joining me. To begin, I want you to find a nice, comfortable position where you will be undisturbed for the duration of this meditation, where we can safely venture into this new world. And once you're there, just let your eyes drift closed. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you slowly exhale, let your body totally relax into your position that you are in. Release any tension you are holding on to in between your eyebrows. Let go of your jaw. Relax your shoulders and release any negative feelings out from your heart. Let go of any tension in your lower body and take a nice deep breath in, letting it all go. And once more, a nice big inhale, exhaling entirely. I want you to bring to mind any judgments you have of yourself or others. And imagine that you are taking that judgment out of your mind in a box and placing it on the floor beside you. Now bring to mind any questions you have, may have, or have had about anything recently. Take it out and place it down. Now remove any fear and anger you have. Take it out in its box. Place it down on the floor. You are coming into this guided journey completely free of any sabotaging thoughts, completely neutral. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it go. I want you to now imagine that you are standing outside of the Dursleys' household. You look around and see rows of the same style house line the streets. Street lamps are in position to guard each house. You go up to the front door and let yourself in. This is where you live after all. You see the little cupboard under the stairs. You decide to make an immediate left and enter the living room. All of a sudden, a letter rushes through the fireplace and magically lands in your hand. You wonder who sent this. You take a look outside the front window and see the most beautiful owl perched on the lamppost. He looks at you and flies away, comforted that you have now safely received the letter. You study the envelope. What beautiful writing! It has your name written on it. You excitedly rip it open. As you read your way through the opening sentence, you soon realize that you are reading an acceptance letter to Hogwarts. As you finish reading, you look out of the window, and this time you see a very tall man standing at the same lamppost you saw the owl. You put the letter in your pocket and open the front door. Hagrid has come to get you. He tells you to follow him. The landscape fades away and transforms into the bustling, chaotic Diagon Alley. You are overjoyed. How did Hagrid do that? You are mesmerized by all the witches and wizards dashing from one shop to another. Your feet feel amazing wandering the cobbled floors. It feels like you've stepped back in time. The old-style shops are full of goods you need for Hogwarts. Hagrid tells you that you both must make a quick stop before you can buy anything. You follow him happily, and you are standing inside the most incredible bank you have ever seen, with the most interesting tellers you have ever seen. Hagrid tells one of the tellers that you are here to retrieve a portion of what is yours from the vault. He nods his head, and you suddenly appear outside of your vault door. How does he keep doing that? The teller opens the door, and your eyes light up from the piles of gold you see in the room. You take a nice deep breath, and you can feel your pockets fill up with all the money that you need for the year. You are abundant, free. Hagrid tells you that this is now the right time for you to pick out your wand. You appear in the most beautiful, dusty old shop you have ever seen. Boxes line the walls. An eccentric man slides in on his ladder and greets you as if he has been waiting to connect you with your wand for a lifetime. He looks at you intently. He then goes and pulls a box from one of the shelves. He hands it to you. It is a stunning mahogany piece. He tells you to give it a wave. You do so, and a vase on the table explodes into tiny pieces. He takes it from you and tells you that that is not the right fit. He then goes to the back of the shop and returns with a truly magnificent, ancient, intricately crafted wand. He hands it to you, and you are engulfed in an incredible golden light. You feel a strong breeze embrace you, and your entire body is tingling. You know that this is fate, that this wand belongs to you. He tells you that this is an important and special wand, and its purpose is to only connect with people destined for greatness. You happily thank him and exit the shop with your new wand. Hagrid is there waiting with a cart filled with school supplies, outfits, and the most beautiful white owl you have ever seen. He hands you a paper. It is your train ticket. You look up, and you are now stood on the platform between the numbers 9 and 10. The ticket says platform 9 3/4. You ask Hagrid, how on earth do you get to this non-existent platform? He tells you to simply run very fast at that wall. You take a nice deep breath, and you do as he says. You run as fast as you can, and you disappear through the wall and end up in front of the most stunning steam train. You can hear the pistons hiss and the chatter of excitable witches and wizards all saying goodbye to their parents and families. You step onto the train and you go to settle yourself, and you put your things in a carriage. The train then starts to move, and you admire the stunning country hills rolling by outside the window. The fields and fields of perfect green. You can smell the freshness of the air from inside your compartment. All of a sudden, the door opens, and two curious-looking kids ask if they could join your carriage. You tell them they are very welcome. They tell you that they are called Ron and Hermione. Bear in mind, if you have favorite characters from this world, then feel free to replace them as your guides in your mind throughout the duration of this meditation. I will continue to read using Ron and Hermione. They tell you that they know who you are and that you are very special, and they would like to accompany you as your guides throughout the rest of your journey. You feel a true sense of family, like they will be with you through thick and thin. The train halts to a stop. You take a deep breath, and the three of you are now sat in the most beautiful rowing boats heading for the castle. You can smell the wood of the boat, and you can hear the light splatter of the oars hitting the water with each stroke. You gaze at the tiny ripples that this makes from the oars. You are surrounded by the most stupendous, magical setting. You're being welcomed to your new home. Hogwarts truly takes your breath away. Its sheer stature stands so large, you could spend days simply wandering the hallways. The boat then docks, and you follow the crowd of young first years off of the boat. You hear the door bellow open, and make your way up the grand stone entrance. You can feel the history in this place. Everyone is greeted by Professor Mcgonagall. She welcomes you to Hogwarts in her very proper manner, and the great doors burst open behind her. Rows and rows of beautiful tables line the great hall. It is already filled with all the senior students and teachers. Professor Mcgonagall leads you to the front of the hall. There is a curious-looking brown hat placed on a tall stool at the front by the teachers. She tells you to come over and take a seat under the hat to discover which house you belong to. You are aware that all the other students around you have found their seats in the room. As soon as you sit and the hat is placed on your head, you feel a direct connection to the voice instantly, like it can read your thoughts. It feels like a suction cup of energy. The hat proceeds to tell you that you are an incredible human being with greatness in your heart and soul. The hat then yells the name of your favorite house, and everybody cheers. You see that Ron and Hermione are already sat there, so you go and join them, and you feel so happy you're all together. Albus Dumbledore stands up and instructs all of the prefects to guide you to your dorms. Everyone piles out of the great hall, The energy is electrifying. Everyone is eager and excited as you travel the corridors. You are very aware that you are being watched. You look up and realize that the pictures on the walls in the hallways are either waving or moving around by themselves. It is really quite peculiar and very entertaining. You reach the maze of staircases. As you climb them, the prefects warn you that they tend to move on their own. All of a sudden, the staircase releases from the bottom and rearranges itself. You all hold on tight. And then you breathe a sigh of relief when it stables again. You now find yourself in your sleeping quarters, enjoying some alone time. You are sat on the window seat, taking in the incredible nighttime view. The picturesque country at night out of your window is sublime. You can also see as far as Hagrid's cabin. Your owl comes to join you, and you take 2 nice deep breaths as you feel so grateful for this journey. You cannot stay here much longer. The sun has risen, and you must learn to fly your broomstick. You follow Ron and Hermione to class in the courtyard with Professor Hooch. She tells you to stand on the left side of your broomstick, and with your right hand over it, say the word up. As you repeat this, the broomstick jumps up straight into your awaiting hand. You mount the broom and kick off, flying effortlessly around the open grassy courtyard. You are free. You are not bound by time or space. You are free. The class look on in awe. Draco then takes off in front of you, and he throws one of the Quidditch balls. You speed off as fast as you can, and you catch it with expert athleticism. You then land slowly on the floor, and everyone is clapping you. You see Professor Mcgonagall walk towards you. She informs you that you are the new seeker for your house. Ron and Hermione run over and give you a huge congratulatory hug. The next thing you know, you feel a rising sensation, and you are being lifted up into the air on your broomstick. You are surrounded by crowds in stands. Players from other teams are zooming around you in your first Quidditch game. The noise is exhilarating. You feel such a rush. You still cannot help but admire the beauty of the forest around you. It's so green and perfect. You feel so connected to nature and the earth. All of a sudden you see something gold and shiny in front of your face. It's the Golden Snitch. You take a deep breath. You reach out and you clasp it with one hand. You got it. The crowds go wild. You won the game. You lower your broom to the ground and Ron tells you to come and take a seat. You are both playing a game of wizard chess. It is truly magical outside, with all the snow covering the grounds. It's so warm and cozy inside as you play chess with your mind. It's very relaxing. There is a beautiful Christmas tree next to you with presents underneath and a roaring fire to keep you warm. Ron gets up and retrieves one of the presents from under the tree. He gives it to you. You thank him and curiously pull out the most beautiful cloak. You put it on and immediately disappear. Ron says, "Blimey, that is an invisibility cloak." You walk through the passage entrance to your common room and begin to wander the hallways of the castle unseen. The sun has set and you feel an immense freedom, seeing where you can explore without anyone knowing. You come across a large wooden door. You pull the handle and step inside. You are stood inside a nearly empty room, the type of room that if you spoke it would echo. The room contains merely a humongous mirror. You take off the cloak and you walk up to face it. This mirror shows you your deepest desires, whoever you need to see or whatever you need to do. Dumbledore then appears behind you and kindly tells you not to dwell on your dreams and forget to live. After looking in this mirror, you know that you must discover your deep hidden truths. You don the invisibility cloak and you go to find Ron and Hermione, but they are already stood outside the door. You ask them to join you under the cloak and to help you with something that you must do. The three of you walk secretly between corridors. You go up and down moving staircases. Until you get to another large wooden door. You open it and see a giant three-headed dog fast asleep, listening to the gentle melodic sounds of a harp. You all lift the trapdoor and you jump down into the hole. You come to land on lots of squishy moving roots. You can smell the earth. You feel it winding around you, but you are not fearful. Hermione tells you not to panic and to take a big, deep breath, and that you have to completely relax every muscle in your body. As you do this, you all slip through the roots easily and land on the floor below. You then see a broomstick motionless in the air in front of you, with lots of flying keys zooming around the room. Your next step is to retrieve the key that is flying the slowest. You jump onto the broom and gracefully glide up to the rafters. And you effortlessly catch the key in your hand. You take a deep breath and you easily land your broom. You give the key to Hermione, who opens the next door. As you go into the next room, you are greeted with some huge giant chess pieces, like the type of chess that you were previously playing with Ron, except much, much bigger. You know that you must all play in order to find your hidden truth. Ron tells each of you to stand on a specific spot. The three of you and the pieces move about the board with grace and ease, with precision and sportsmanship, until you end up in front of the king. You confidently express checkmate, and the king drops his sword. The last door is ready for you. Ron and Hermione tell you that you must do this last bit alone. So you make your way through the next door, and you see a set of 10 stairs going down. At the bottom of the stairs is the mirror you had previously found in the room before. This time there is a guide standing next to the mirror. They tell you to descend the stairs. As you walk down, you feel yourself traveling deeper still into your subconscious. As you reach the mirror, this time it shows you something different when you look in. Something deeper. Either something that you need to release or a direction that you need to take in order to move forward in the healthiest, most joyful way. Your guide then tells you that the love that you seek lives in your skin, that everything you touch with such love and kindness will only lead to great things. You then start to illuminate with a glorious light. You thank your guide, and your guide calls for Ron and Hermione. They enter the top of the room, and you turn around to face them. You thank them for their guidance and feel completely humbled by their friendship. You then feel your energy rise from this light, and you are lifted back up into your physical body, into the time and space that you are in now. You return yourself back and become very aware of your heartbeat and your breathing, of the sounds and smells in your room. You put some energy back into your fingers and toes, give them a little wriggle. And then give every muscle in your body a really good squeeze, and release and let go. And then whether you're sat or laying down, before you open your eyes, I want us to take 2 nice cleansing breaths together. Take a nice big inhale and let it go. take another one. And let it go. And then very, very slowly open your eyes and smile. Thank you very much for joining me. And before you go back to your day to day, I want you to take a moment to really ground yourself. Either go and put your bare feet in the earth, or just feel your heartbeat for a moment. Take some nice deep breaths. Or another good way I like to imagine with my eyes closed to ground myself is to imagine you are stood at the base of a mountain, and you are stood with your loved ones, the people you love most, and they are happy and smiling at the base of this mountain. And then open your eyes and come back into the room. Just a nice little trick if you feel a little bit woozy or not particularly grounded. So there's a few ways to help. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a great rest of the day.